This is Dr. Lamb, directed by Danny Lee, of course, famous actor, and Billy Tang. Most DNA it does share is with the Untold Story. Never knew if it was uncut or not, so I kind of avoided watching it. Unearthed was going to put out the Blu-ray. I was like, well, I definitely want to watch that. Kind of kickstarted the Cat 3 titles, or the true crime kind of horror stories from the Hong Kong cinema. One of two serial killers from Hong Kong. We open up with him being captured in the opening of the film and him kind of being pressured into the confession. The cops beating the suspects, common thing in these Hong Kong movies. A layer of comedy as some of the police procedural. It is similar to other Billy Tang movies, Brother of Darkness and Red to Kill. Cast and crew, I believe the same writer, if I'm not mistaken. It definitely has one of the same leads in Danny Lee, who co-directed this as well as The Untold Story. That I did enjoy it. It was a very professionally well done film with a lot of those kind of Hong Kong craziness that I've enjoyed. And it was just interesting seeing all these kind of things happen before, and where they took their inspirations from and what it went on to inspire. A little Ed Gein stuff going on. And Bruce Holchek and Art Ediger mentioned that in the commentary. They actually pointed out that Simon Yao played this character, this real life serial killer, in kind of like a Hong Kong television like program that were like these hour-long specials. This case originally took place in the early 80s, and he was apprehended in 83. Hong Kong Butcher, which I never had seen. But then they made this one in 1992, because in 1994 there was two films made, The Rapist and Portrait of a Serial Rapist, both based off the other serial killer known from Hong Kong. And those movies were made right after the case. So they were made very fresh after the case happened. So that's intense. Like, those movies probably would have never been made if this didn't catch fire, and the true crime thing, like the Untold Story was made. All these true crime stories were made, and it's just nuts. As far as like extreme gore is concerned, 40-minute mark, everything starts to break down. Fast to the first murder and why it happened. It's very typical in serial killer fashion, how he was triggered, something upset him, and he killed. And took on this god complex where he's going to go around and clean the streets. A la Travis from Taxi Driver, but in that serial killer mentality. And at one point, he does something to the body that a lot of, let's just say, York Buckarett fashion. And the brutality, and there's a lot of weird jokes, and, of course, all the stuff you would expect in a Cat 3 movie. I had trouble not comparing it directly to The Untold Story, and, Anthony Wong in that movie has like a masterful performance. Yam in this movie is so over the top, deadpan. But then when they show back the flashbacks of the murders, he's literally howling and dancing. The outside street shots are really nice. The taxi driver idea would inspire another one by Herman Yao with Anthony Wong called Taxi Hunter. With special features, like I said, there's a commentary by Art Ediger and Bruce Holchek. They do an excellent job. To see these Cat 3 movies getting these nice deluxe releases from Unearthed. And Dr. Lamb, one that I'm so glad I finally got to watch in a nice edition with special features, because, it's a big piece of that puzzle that I needed to fill for my horror knowledge. Dr. Lamb.